What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are going to be talking about Jubilee. Her legendary event returns tonight for the first time since, oh gosh, I don't know, 5-6 months. It's been a long time since we had our event come the first time, and we're going to talk about everything you guys can be doing with Jubilee in the game. Fantastic raid team with Astonishing X-Men. I'm showing you guys a little bit of footage of this in the Doom raid, or not the Doom raid, U7.5, so you guys can get an idea of what this team does. Also great in the Doom raid. We'll talk about that with mutant team compositions, and then also talk about how she's great in war. At the same time, she's great in RTA, and what to put on her for ISOs with her team and also Astonishing X-Men. We're just going to be covering everything Astonishing X-Men and Jubilee related here. So if you guys do enjoy this guide, make sure to hit that like button down below, and also check out more of Marvel Strike Force videos on this channel. Hey everybody, here to talk to you about Amazon coins. Now, whether you're someone who's gaming on a budget, or if you're someone who's dumping hundreds of dollars into a mobile game every month, there's really no better way for you to be spending that money than through the Amazon coins app. And honestly, this is something I've been using for Marvel Strike Force, and I just absolutely love it. The big point about Amazon coins is that it gives you some very significant savings on your money. You can get upwards of 20% back on what you're spending in the game, and every coin is a 1-to-1 ratio, so 100 Amazon coins equals $1, and they have plenty of different choices for you to buy. And if you are looking to buy something cheaper than this, you can go here and check out all the packs. There's upwards of even $400 worth of Amazon coins for 20% off. It's a great deal for anybody out there who's wanting to play this. Now, the big problem is that it's only for Android right now, so maybe hopefully in the future we'll get it for iPhone too. But what you want to do is basically just sync up your account through Facebook and check out any of the games that you want to play. Like I said, Marvel Strike Force. There's also Battlegrounds, or PUBG Mobile. There's Hearthstone. There's plenty of other games out there that you can use for Amazon coins as well. But if this is something that you're looking to spend money on and you want to save money and get money back, which is, I mean, why wouldn't you? I recommend you guys go check out the link down below. It would really help out the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's start with the unlocking requirements for Jubilee. In order to unlock her, you will need Pimtech, and this is pretty much where my Pimtech were when I unlocked Jubilee. I haven't really touched them since. Maybe their stats have gone up a little bit with Stark Tech dropping into this tech tree, but honestly, I really haven't put more gear on them since then. The one thing I will note here is that basically as your Ghost goes, so does the rest of the Pimtech team here. She'll be able to carry the team for you. If you lose her, it's kind of over, but I have tier 13 on everybody but Ghost. Honestly, I could probably keep them at tier 12 with a tier 15 Ghost, and I should be able to get through all 7 tiers no problem. I did it pretty easily with them. It did get a little bit dicey on that final tier, but again, Ghost kind of carries it for you. As long as you have good gear on her, good ISO, and invest in T4s for her, you should be okay. I've got 2 T4s on her, maybe a couple other on Pimtech, but yeah, you don't really need them more powerful in this. In fact, tier 12 on the rest of them should be more than sufficient. If you do have to use them in the Gamma Raid like I do, well, it's kind of where you have to throw gear on them. But yeah, tier 12 on them, plus tier 15 on Ghost, since you're going to be using her in DD4 anyways, perfectly acceptable for what you need to use to unlock Jubilee. Let's go ahead and talk about what makes this team great for raids. So this team, the big thing with Jubilee on this team is that every time you defeat an enemy character, all Astonishing X-Men allies gain 25% speed bar. You guys are seeing it here. Every time they kill someone, you're watching their speed bar go up. They just keep going, and it makes the raids quite easy, especially if you're going to be fighting against enemies that do a lot of summons. So Ultron and Hela both are very easy characters to counter with this team. Doom's a little trickier because you can knock him down, but if you don't one-shot him, he's gonna use his special or his ultimate, and then he pops that special and just wipes out your entire Astonishing X-Men team. The positioning I have for them right now is pretty optimal for me. Bishop on one end of the lane, or one end of the team, and then I have Iceman right next to him because Iceman is able to resurrect once in a fight, though Kitty also works right next to Bishop because she's constantly evading and healing herself up. And then Beast and Jubilee on the far side. You want them as far away from Bishop as possible because you don't want to lose either one of those characters. You lose them, you lose the speed bar boost that you get with Jubilee's passive, and you get the huge amounts of healing that you get with Beast's passive as well. So yeah, I mean, you basically throw this team on auto and they will just run through things. In the Doom Raid, it's a little trickier. I do use a combination of Jubilee, Bishop, and Beast with Shatterstar and Longshot, the Dad Bros, for some of the mutant nodes, especially on the earlier mutant nodes. But if you're one of the later mutant nodes for Doom, it's really optimal to bring in Mr. Sinister because you can clone the enemy Longshot. Jubilee kind of falls off in there, but I have seen people use full teams of Axemen to clear at least the basic Doom nodes. It's a good team, but with those ISO, it's hard to do now. But yeah, let's talk ISO. I'm not going to go too much in depth in terms of what to do on these characters, but we'll just focus on Jubilee. If you guys want to see a more interesting breakdown, a more in-depth breakdown of the ISO and what T4s to focus on this team, there's going to be a description in the video up in the top right corner of the video. Recommend you guys go check that out. But you can see I've got all the T4s on her, and I've got Skirmisher on her. She is a controller character, so that is a little unfortunately. You have a lot of good controller characters out there: Emma, Zemo, Doom, Jubilee. But for her, I would use either Skirmisher or Striker. Skirmisher, she's constantly assisting. That does help sell up vulnerable for some other characters that I use Striker on, like Bishop and like Kitty. But a Striker on her also works really well because of her basic attack is able to apply blind, guaranteed to apply blind in the raids. Only 70% chance to apply it outside of raids, but still, that blind, being able to have a double tap with blind on it, it's fantastic. It's a really, really good mechanic. I love that she's able to apply blind there. So this is one I definitely recommend that you put Skirmisher or Striker on her. And then all these T4s, the speed bar by 10% for allied beasts, max health and damage for astonishing X-Men in raids. The splitting atoms here, it doesn't say it, but it will reduce the speed bar on characters. Also does a lot of damage with this. Very helpful there. The special will it will apply offense up to self and all astonishing X-Men allies for this, and gains an assist from all astonishing X-Men allies at the same time. And then the basic with this, you do get that plus 20% chance to apply blind. So very helpful to have all T4s on her. You usually see that with your legendaries these days. It's gonna look, this is another legendary character. Well, you're going to want to have all the T4s on her. So moving on from where you have the X-Men, the astonishing X-Men in raids and their ISO, what can you expect for them outside of that? And well, honestly, they're a fantastic war offense team as well. I mentioned a little bit earlier how you can counter Hela. If you still find Asgardians on offense, not often that you will, but if you do, you can use that Hela and the Greg summon. You can basically milk that to your advantage and just absolutely wipe out Asgardian teams. The constant killing of Greg boosts the speed bar on your team. Hela keeps summoning Greg back. You just kill Greg again. And at some point, you're just able to move so much because you have so much speed bar on your team, the enemy team can't keep up. So they're very easy counter to Asgardians if that's still something you run into. But the one thing I have found is that they're a very decent Merc counter. This one's still a little dicey. It kind of depends on who your highest damage character is, and if you have high stars on Bishop, should reliably be Bishop. But this is one where it's going to take some time. You have to kind of wear them down a little bit by a little bit, but eventually you will be able to knock out your Merc teams. You can also counter Emma Marauders. You can also counter your Doc Ock teams. They're a very strong war offense team. They're very annoying to fight on defense as well. Anytime you take one of them below 50% health, Beast heals back up, and then Beast gains speed bar, and he also gains ability energy, and then his passive triggers. Heals people. His special is constantly cleansing negative effects from Axemen allies and healing them. It's a very annoying team to fight on defense. I don't personally use them on defense, but I have found if you do fight them, weaker ones at least, you can use Aimtron to counter them. We've tried that before. Even a basic aim team without T4s on the Axemen team will be able to counter. The team. But for those stronger ones, bringing in Ultron does make it a little bit easier. You do run the risk of them killing off the minions, and then they gain a lot of speed bar, but Ultron's able to one-shot pretty much anybody on the Axemen team. He's just that powerful. One of the more interesting things we found when this team first came out, and shout out to Tana on this one. He's got a video again. If you guys want to check that out, there's a link up above. There's also going to be in the video description all these videos. He used them to beat Black Order, and I mean that's pretty impressive. That was still a meta defense team in War at the time. Things have kind of changed up now, but they were able to beat Black Order just in RTA. Not a big issue. But yeah, if you find them on defense in Alliance War, you have some solid T4s and gear on your X-Men team, you're gonna be able to knock out that Black Order team as well. You will have to be careful though, because you do have at least one controller on this team with Jubilee, and also Iceman. He is also a hero controller, so you can't lose either one of those characters. Otherwise, Ebony starts giving barrier on the team, put an ability block on your controllers. You don't want to ability block counter Black Order with them. They are a very strong War offense team. In fact, when I did my recent ranking of the top 10 Alliance War teams, X-Men was up pretty high because of just their ability to counter a lot of teams out there. Very heavy utility for them, a lot of viability. You will get great use out of them in there. And also that carries over to RTA. Right now we've got this whole thing with Infinity Watch and this Emma thing, and how Infinity Watch is the new cancer for Marvel Strike Force. But if you do want to use, if you have the objectives that require mutants, I mean, X-Men's the easy way to go. The taunt, the speed bar, the assists, it's a great team in RTA. Very annoying to fight if you don't have the right setup. I know when I've used like X Factor in RTA, the X-Men teams gave me a huge fit because they're constantly killing my little dupes from multiple man and just driving up that speed bar. Very annoying to fight, but they will get you some solid wins in RTA. They're very easy to use there, very powerful. Though right now you can see that Jubilee is banned, so you won't be able to use them to their full potential. Without Jubilee, X-Men just doesn't have a lot of potential, so you won't get that full use of them out there. Right now, probably not a team to use because you can't use Jubilee. If you were able to use Jubilee, I recommend trying this team in RTA. Overall, this team is the #1 team in raids. Very, very strong in Alliance War. You're going to get some great use out of there in War on offense and defense for War. Great in RTA. Arena, they really don't have a place in. That's like their one weak spot. They were okay when they first came out, but things have power crept since then. Kestrel and Silver Surfer, very easy counters to your astonishing X-Men. And now with Infinity Watch, well, you've got no business playing X-Men in Arena. So let me know down below if you guys have questions about this team, if you guys have questions about where they can be used, or any questions about their ISOs and T4s that my videos didn't explain on that. Ask down below, but as always, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.